Good. How
Beth
are
or
you?
Elizabeth? Do you want Beth or
Beth.
Elizabeth?
Here in the beautiful,
Okay.
lovely state of New
Thank you.
York,
Which is really funny. So
within
this
the
is your
Finger
first time
Lakes.
on the show, and right
You
now I
have
just
just
record
stumbled
so I can do
upon
some outtakes later.
JK'z
It took
Rewatchable Hour.
calling John over 10 times the first time, and you answer on the first call. So
Yeah.
I totally
So-
forgot though. I
so-
lost track of time when you messaged me and I was like, oh my goodness. And I was out in the garage just getting ready to do another set. So I was like, perfect timing. But
you know what? I'm very envious. Our gym got closed last week, and the new one won't open for another week or so. So I'm jonesing to get a workout in. So I'm going to start
Body weight.
curling the dog here.
So did they close?
that's great.
But just to make sure, so you and John know each other, right? Go ahead.
Ish,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. I know of you because you went to school at South Seneca. So that's pretty much it.
Yep. Same here.
Good. But you both have something in common. You both, well, you currently own your own business. You used to own a business, but we're all into fitness. I'm not really sure what's going on with Bill. I'm going to try to call him here. I just know he has something going on. But if not,
Okay.
believe it or not, I actually made out notes for this show, which we don't normally do on this show. So,
Wait.
and the funny thing is, John, I've been trying to get Beth on the show for about a month, and she kept on saying no, and then she agreed, and then she's like, I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, how about if I just get a couple of people to help you out? So,
Great idea. Love it.
so
Yeah. It's
can you all hear me? Okay, good.
Let's get into it. So
Sweet.
And we always have a fun time on this show. So, I told some people in a group I have what we were doing, and they were like, a couple of them were like, we need a funny show, different, because we've been doing some serious shows and stuff. So, John knows what I'm talking about the who said it, who did it. I can't give away any information, but
Okay.
some of the responses I got, I don't know, the FCC might shut us down. I don't know.
Jeez.
But anyhow, how was your guys' day?
Good. It was good. It's been busy and just
Are you still
today
in
was
your,
my.
you still
What's that?
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry. There's just like a small delay.
Yeah, that's the same here. So I'm like, wait, is he saying more or not? No, my day was good. Today's Wednesday. I think today's Wednesday. Wednesdays are usually my day off, but I don't have days off because I'm always doing something. So I trained somebody today and 2 massage appointments. So I stay busy.
very cool. Yeah, my day was great too, Jeff. Man.
Yeah, and it's go ahead, John. How was your day?
It was great, man. It you got to make every day a great day. You got to have a great mindset as we talk about it going into it, and you just got to stay focused on what you're doing and make the best of what the day brings to you.
Yeah. And so when I put this little group together, I'm thinking like 3 people who well, 2 of you still own a business. What a great show today. People who love fitness. I'm getting into making t-shirts, which as soon as I get a new one in, Beth, I'm going to send you one. John and I are sporting the latest shirts. And I just thought, like, what a great show where people who love fitness and they put it into their everyday life. And we're going to talk about business and stuff like that, which I know nothing about except just try to make money.
Don't we all?
And that delay is killing me. I don't know. I don't know if anybody will get interrupted this time, John.
Yeah, I know. We're all like,
Yeah, and I don't know why it's we've never had a delay this bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on here.
No, we'll just blame it on Beth. I don't know. We'll just.
My fault. So
I'm gonna go ahead and just give Bill a call. I'm just gonna go ahead and give him a call. If he answers, he answers. If not, we'll just kick off the show. And the only thing is like if somebody texts me, I can't check the text message because it's gonna knock the screen out. And so, but I'm just gonna try to give him a call here.
Sounds good.
Try this one more time.
So how long have you been running this, your podcast now?
Since March, actually. Or I'm sorry, Jeepers, since January.
Oh, wow, nice.
Thank you. I met Craig Pemberton, who actually he's off again this week. He's just dealing with some stuff. He will be back shortly. He's just got some stuff to handle. So he and we met at Dunkin' Donuts with another guy back in January. Okay. Creative differences. The other guy went and did his own thing. He's doing very well. And then we linked up with John and Aline and Becky, my wife, Bill Verity. I'm forgetting people. Jacqueline, George Muzzy, and yeah, and it's just taken off. So
awesome. Well,
okay,
congrats.
so it says he's unavailable. I'm gonna call him again in just one more second. Thank you very much. And I'm glad that you were able to catch a few shows. Some of them crossed the line, but some of them are really, really, like John will tell you, one of his favorite shows is when we talk about, something really serious and important about the whole mindset. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
man, the delay is killing me.
It's been a great podcast, especially from the shows that I've been on, just being able to see everybody being authentic and being real. Nobody's putting on a show for a podcast, and the issues we talk about are serious. They hit home for a lot of people, and I feel that everybody has a short story to share, and I feel that that story, whether most people believe it or not, will impact somebody. The one thing I told Jeff about story sharing is, if you want to impress people, you want to, tell them about your successes. But if you want to truly impact a person, tell them about your failures and how you overcame them, because they're probably dealing with a lot of the same stuff, but are just too afraid to say something or go to somebody. And when they know that, hey, this person went through something similar, this is how they can overcome it. They have somebody to go to ask questions and try to be able to, cope. When we talked about those coping mechanisms a few weeks ago. So, I'm always big on being able to share your story, because you never know who you're going to impact.
Amen.
Absolutely. And just before, we actually start the show, Bill just must be really busy. So the shirt that you're going to get as soon as it comes in, Beth, the front of the shirt is a saying that John had told us, I think maybe the third show you were on, or the second show, where it says, we're not only that 6 a.m., the 6 a.m. friend, or however the saying goes, that saying came from John. It came from John. Cool. So you'll be getting the first one ever with basically his saying. So
very cool.
Wait, excited to
and they are on their way. They're coming from Missouri, so they are on their way.
Cool.
All right. So all right. So I'm going to start the show. Obviously, this is where Mr. Craig Kessel comes in, but as we normally do, our catchphrase is stumbling in life. So I'm going to stumble through this intro. And John always gets a kick out of every time I try to duplicate Craig Kelso. I cannot do it. But we are here on JK'z Rewatchable Hour. We have with us, as always, Mr. John Palmer. And for the first time, we have Miss Beth Brown. Today, we are talking fitness and business. And as you can tell, the three of us, we enjoy fitness. John, I'm going to ask you, why do you like fitness?
Well, to say I like it might be a little bit of a stretch. But I know I need to do it for certain aspects of my life. But I got into fitness years ago, probably really hardcore when I was a sophomore in college. I lifted a little bit in high school and, did some stuff there, but it wasn't really until my sophomore year of college I got into fitness and exercise. Actually changed my major. I was majoring in criminal justice and switched to an exercise science major. After that, when I kind of started getting into it and fell in love with it. And then, obviously after college, you try to go into doing something that you have a degree in. And decided to, actually I was dating someone at the time that was a member at one of the gyms up here in Rochester. And she got me an interview with the manager of the club, and they hired me 2 weeks later. So I've really been in the fitness industry, like it or not, for the last 25 years, whether it's in business or now just doing as a lifestyle. I feel very passionate that fitness is a lifestyle. Fitness is something that people need to do to better not only their physical health, but their mental and their spiritual health that they have to just dealing with everyday life. So I just kind of got into it on a whim. It's funny, I was thinking about this today when I was kind of prepping some thoughts for the show, and there's days the last thing I want to do is go hit the gym and go lift a weight or do some cardio because of everything else I've got going on in my life. Whether a long day of work or stress about this or stress about that. But I think we can all agree that fitness is probably one of the biggest forms of therapy that anybody can pursue and do to handle all the bullshit that we got going on in our lives. So it's again, not only physical, but it's mental health, it's spiritual health, and the benefits we get from it are really just more of the physical benefits are more of I guess a side piece of how I would view it more than anything else.
Absolutely. How about you, Beth?
Fitness. I started actually when I enrolled in the military, so I kind of did that delayed entry program, and I was terrified of doing all the push-ups and sit-ups and running that I had to do. So I kind of started doing it on my own a little. Went in the military, and I chose to lift weights for one of my PT, and I fell in love with it. Fast forward, had kids, took a break, whatever. I've been probably lifting for 10 years consistently now, give or take. I don't, unless I'm sick, generally miss more than I don't know, two or 3 days in a row. It is exactly like John said. It's a lifestyle. The physical part, appearance-wise, physical part is a bonus. But the way you feel mentally, like you said, it really helps. It is a good therapy for that. But then your body, and your body just feels good, regardless of what you look like appearance wise. You can move, your range of motion, things don't hurt like everybody else is walking around and my back hurts, and you're so taking good care of yourself is really important. And I got into the whole fitness journey because I like the feeling, the overall everything feeling.
Definitely. And obviously, I talked to John on other other episodes about, fitness, and um, I see you all the time. You're always posting motivational. Uh, I think you just did, what was it, the 200 squat a day or whatever you were doing, Beth, or something like that. And I was like, I absolutely hate squats, and you're sitting here doing 100 a day or something like that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that's your mindset, right?
Yeah, and we do,
Yeah,
honestly,
and go ahead.
I'm a big accountability partner, like, person. Again, like John said, we all have our days where we don't want to go, and that's many of them, honestly. But sometimes if you don't feel like you have the drive or motivation to kind of push yourself, you can get an accountability partner, whether it's in person or just somebody that can encourage you otherwise. So the squat thing was something that myself and one of my friends, I actually had found a picture of my quads that were a little bigger than they are now. And I was like, man, I wish I could get them bigger. And she was like, let's do a challenge. And so we've been doing 100 squats a day for the whole month of May. And I am not good at every day. So on the days that I missed, I made it up, and then a little bit of torture on the plus side, because I felt like, man, you could have done 100 squats. It's so easy. So that's the challenge.
No, that's absolutely amazing. For me, I mean, the most I lifted was when I was in high school, and then obviously, a couple months here, a couple months there throughout my life. And then I don't know, about 4 years ago, wife and I decided to go downtown, local gym. We signed up, and we've been going ever since. And when I first went to the gym, I had to walk in there thinking like I had to be the biggest guy. And well, you just can't go in there and throw weight around. You have to learn form, and you have to just learn how to do things. And but I stay with it, except for it's closed now until the new gym gets open. But I contribute going to the gym with my mindset in life. If you go to the gym one day a week, you're not going to see any results. But if you go consistent, and I do try to eat somewhat clean, I'm not the best dieter. But if you go to the gym once a month, once a week, you're not going to see any results. But if you go consistently and you work hard, eventually you will see results. And I contribute that in life. Like if you just can't do something once or twice, or whenever you feel like it, you have to do it on a consistent basis. And I know that John and I have talked about consistency and mindset a lot. What's your guys' take on that? Do you guys take what you do in the gym and in fitness, and contribute that to everyday life?
I think you have to, Jeff. You talk about being consistent with anything. The first thing that popped into my mind was, take my marriage and your marriage, or any relationship. If you were to only put the time and effort into a relationship one day a week or one day a month, do you think you're going to get the benefit you want out of that? Same thing with friendships. You got to put
No.
time and effort into a friendship. So there's a lot of other aspects that you can really relate that to, and you got to have that mindset. It's that consistency, and it's just making it a routine. It's the old adage that I think they say it takes 21 days of consistent work to form a habit, and you just got to be able to. It's really time management. It's being able to block out the time during your day to fit it in. That was probably one of the biggest objections I heard when I ran my gym for years, as people were like, well, I don't have the time, I don't have this, I don't have that. But when you really break it down, I mean, there's 168 hours in a week. Most people work maybe 40 to 50 at the most. Let's say you sleep, a healthy person, if they're supposed to sleep 8 hours a night, that still leaves plenty of hours throughout the week to be able to do that. And really, when someone's a beginner at exercise or working out, I think they have this thought that they have to be in the gym for an hour or 2 hours every single time they come in. And we when we started programs for people that were novices, we had them in and out in 30 minutes. We wanted to develop a program that was enjoyable for them and was something that they could make a routine and be consistent with. But it's just like anything in life, whether again, relationships, your marriage, even like you said, Jeff, with eating and diet, being consistent with eating clean, just to be able to pair that with
which is
exercise.
hard.
It's hard for a lot of people. I was never perfect at it. I could be if I really wanted to be disciplined. I mean, when I was coming out of high school and in college, and I played college lacrosse, and we were disciplined and we were told what to eat, and even out of that, I remember my dad looked at me when I worked with him for a while after I graduated college, and I was eating chicken and rice 5, 6 times a day outside of my breakfast. And or cans of tuna fish for protein, and it was just
Wow.
clean. It was just, but a normal person can't sustain that, and I think we have to make it realistic for them. And even now today, like I joked with you a couple of weeks ago, I love to eat. It may not be the best things, but I know that if I was to go on a 7-day bender where I just ate like crap, I would feel like crap. And then you don't want to defeat all the hard work you put into it. So, yeah, I think it relates to every other aspect of your life if you really look at it.
Yeah, you gotta like you totally.
And
I mean, if
and
you
that's one
can't
of the
push,
reasons why I said. No, go ahead.
that's okay. I know I was gonna say the same thing. Like if you can't push
Go ahead, Beth.
yourself, if you have a goal and you wanna whatever your goal is, whether it's lose weight or build muscle or you're competing or you just want to be healthy, but like if you have a goal and you cannot push yourself to do your own goal, I mean, you're just never, I tell my kids the same thing, you're never going to get anywhere in life. You have to learn, like you said, you have to relate this to everything else in life. You have to be self-motivated. If you want something, you have to do it. You have to be consistent, So yeah, it definitely does relate to regular life too.
Yeah, and when I see we all know John Diesel, and I see Bill Verity, I see you, and I see a couple of the people that I go to the gym with, and John. I mean, that helps motivate me. I mean, I tell you guys all the time, inspiration. I always look to people for inspiration, because there are times, like just like anybody else, there's times I'll be at work and I'm like, I just don't want to go to the gym today, and I'm like, but if I don't go, then I'm going to go home and I'm going to fall asleep on the couch, or I'm going to look at myself and be like, man, you just, and I'm doing it now because the gym is closed and there's not a gym close enough, but I'm going to make it up as soon as it opens. I'm going to go back to 6 days a week. But, yeah, it's just, I like to send those funny memes to you guys. Hey, you go to the gym all the time, you must have rock abs. And I'm like, I don't. Yeah, because I'm not that strong. I can't say no to food. I'm very weak sometimes, but I'm also mature enough to know, like, hey, listen, if you're not eating clean, you're not going to have the beach body abs. But I also am okay with that currently. But so yeah, I mean, you guys post all the time, motivational stuff, and I find it really helpful and supportive, and I know other people do too, because I see all their comments. So. Before we go to the business part, I just want to ask you, what is the one thing that you just absolutely hate? The body part you hate the worst to work out. Anybody can answer.
For me, I've and it seems like it's progressively gotten worse as I've gotten older, but I feel like my weakest body part is my chest. I've had a couple shoulder injuries, both of them bench pressing heavy weight, where I've blown my shoulder out and torn my rotator cuff. And, it hasn't been pretty, but, now I think I'm at the point where, like you said, Jeff, when you went into the gym initially with your wife and you felt like you had to be the big guy and lift all these weights, I see it every day. And I just, I use the term ego lifting. I
That
got
was
rid of
me. Yep.
ego lifting a long time ago. I'm there now for a purpose. You know what? If I'm only bench pressing 50-pound, 60-pound dumbbells, but I'm repping them out. I don't care. You know,
Yep.
I'm not 25 anymore. You know, and for me, it's more about sustainability. It's about mobility. It's about function. You know, so it's the ego lifting I could care less about, but yeah, probably the thing I love training chest. It's just my weakest body part. You know, my two favorite body parts, still probably to this day are back and legs. Um, Although my hips are not great right now, so squatting is not a friend of mine unless I'm in the Smith machine or I'm just doing some basic stuff. Just because I know I don't think I've got any cartilage left in my left hip, so it's bone on bone. So squatting is probably not the
Oh,
best thing
wow.
for me. So, but I've always joked around. That was from playing, you know, just the impact I played for lacrosse for all those years in college and afterward, and you know, it just took a toll on me. But I know, you know, I'm not going in the gym to squat 315 for reps anymore. You know, if I can get in there and even if I'm doing, you know, 135 pounds, at least I'm doing something to keep myself mobile and keep myself moving. So,
Absolutely. I hear that. Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Beth?
Worst body part, probably my abs, because you know, I learned that I don't really care if I have fluff there. It's okay with me. I'm not somebody who's stressing about you know, the evil F, the fat word. You know, kind of like you, it's called balance, you know. Some days I have a donut and some days I eat a half a bag of peanut M&Ms, and that's okay. I don't do it consistently. I am generally pretty good eating normal foods and paying attention to what I eat and getting my protein and stuff. But yeah, my abs I don't do much with. Breathing is probably a good exercise that is about the only thing I got going for me right now with them. But that's the one I pretty much don't like to work. I love doing legs, glutes, and shoulders because I'm still kind of teetering the idea of competing for masters at some point, but I'm not quite self-driven
Hmm.
enough to get to that point yet. So
But you know, if you stay with it, you will get it eventually. You know, it just depends on, like you said, what you want to do. Um, my I hate doing legs, mainly just squats. I know that they're good for you. They're good for your whole entire body. So like, and like John, I'll use the Smith machine. I have a fear of too much weight on my shoulders behind like this. And I know like if it's too much, I can just put the stoppers in and I can just throw it forward. But like on the leg press, I can put 5 plates on each side, you know, and I can rep that out. Squats with the Smith machine, I don't really normally go over 2 plates in a 25 just because I don't know. I am really afraid, you know, and I hope I don't jinx John, but blowing out my knee.
Mhm.
None of us are multi-million dollar athletes, you know, so if we blow out our knee or whatever, we got money to fall back on. I blow out my knee, I'm like screwed for 9 months. I don't know. And plus I think it's also a fear of, you know, I don't know. I just don't like a bunch of weight on my shoulders. Every other body part I love working. Just squats. I hate squats, but I know they're really good for you. So um but whoever invented squats should be shot because
knees.
whatever, that's stupid.
So are your knees though. They're even better for you.
Yeah,
So
I
keep
mean,
yeah.
yeah, but I do have knee sleeves, but it's still up here that you know it's the psychological part that, oh God, I'm gonna blow out a knee. And but whatever. So let's talk business real quick. And obviously, you know, Beth, you own your own business, so I'm gonna, you know, shift from John going first to you. Let's talk about your business.
So I am a fairly new licensed massage therapist. I graduated in 21, kind of I call it jokingly my midlife crisis. But I've always loved I've always loved touch. I've always felt the need to help other people and encourage other people. And so I've always naturally had that nurturing, I guess, energy. And so anyways, ran and got through school. I love it. Started off at Del Lago a little bit, just kind of learning the ropes, and kind of started after about a year and a half, went off on my own. And I've been totally on my own for probably the last year. It's been a lot of tripping and falling and learning where to look for resources or who to contact for different things. And it's not like walking into a job where, you know, your handbook's here and this is your pay. And, you know, if you need me, you can call this person. So it's, you know, here's a bunch of nothing and figure it out. So running my business has been an absolute adventure, and I'm so blessed and grateful because I just have learned so much. I've built so many wonderful relationships with people, helped so many people, and I love working from home. I'm not gonna lie, I love working from home. I can juggle like I'm in the circus. It's great.
Awesome. Awesome. So John, I know that you no longer own the gym, but you want to talk about when you did own the gym and stuff like that?
Yeah, you know, I think my situation was a little different than Beth's. You know, I view Beth as more of an entrepreneur because she's pretty much, you know, out there working for herself, you know, running her own business. Like she said, you know, she's going out there and hustling to be able to, you know, make a living for herself with what she does. She wasn't given a so-called book of clients that were consistently coming in and getting massages all the time. So, you know, I first of all, I commend anybody that does that because I did some entrepreneurial stuff on the side too, and it's not easy starting from zero, starting from scratch, and being able to build a business to a certain point. You know, if you look at the statistics, I think 95% of even small businesses in America that are started go bankrupt within the first few years. And then out of that 5%, I think only 10% out of that remaining 5% over the next 5 years are still in business. So, you know, my situation was a little different. You know, when I started working at the gym back in 1998, you know, I was a personal trainer. I did some personal training and, you know, started there and then eventually moved over to doing what they call the fitness coach, which was really just membership sales, you know, selling gym memberships, but also working with the, you know, the members that you sold you know, the memberships to a little bit. Did that for a very long time, learned a ton about sales, marketing, you know, anything you could imagine with the sales aspect of it. And that's why I still love doing sales today. You know, there's nothing like being able to, you know, create your own income and kind of work for yourself and do that. But I worked myself up the so-called, you know, corporate ladder that everybody talks about. You know, back then I started at the lowest point and I just kept working hard and working myself up and up. Got into an assistant manager role, then became a you know, a sales manager and then a general manager of a club. And then I had an opportunity at one of our locations at the height of the which I felt the fitness industry was. You know, we had 13 locations between Rochester and Buffalo. So I had an opportunity to go to one of our locations and kind of try to turn that club around. It wasn't doing very well. So my few, you know, the men that basically became my business partners were my managers at the time. And, you know, they basically said, hey, you know, we're going to put you in this manager role here at the club. You've got a year to take the club from where it was to where we hopefully can see it going, which I was able to do. But I know I didn't do that on my own. I had a lot of people that worked with me and that helped me get to there because I know if it wasn't for them, you know, I wouldn't have done that. So, after that time was up, they granted me a partnership within the company, where I had a percentage of a partnership and an ownership stake in that location. And I stayed in that location and ran it on and off for probably the next 9 to 10 years, before I finally, stepped away, which will probably be 8 or 9 years ago now, to be able to do that. So, and I learned, a ton of stuff about business and just running a business. As Beth, I'm sure you can attest, there's a lot of times that you fall flat on your face trying different things and doing different things, and you have to learn from it and move on. All right, here's what not to do. Let's try to do this. And so, but I learned a ton about not only the fitness industry, but just business in general and how to run a business from my business partners and from other people that really helped me get to where I want to be. And it was great for a long time. Owning a business is great, but I think a lot of people don't see the ins and outs of owning a business. And at the end of the day, the business really owns you. It's a point where I got to a point where, all right, if I don't have a receptionist that can make her shift or his shift, then they call in and can't work. Guess who's working that? Because that's me filling in for them. So it got to the point where I was at some points, some weeks I was working 75 hours a week and just trying to fill in with other roles. And it got to the point where, as I kind of shared my story weeks ago, Jeff, I got to a point where I got very sick. Was hospitalized for a while. I developed an autoimmune disease because of the stress I was dealing with running a business. And now it's to the point where, looking back at it, it was God telling me, all right, you're done doing it your way. Now it's time to do it my way. And he showed me what to do to say, this isn't your path. This isn't your calling. You need to do something different. And I was able to, at that point, kind of walk away and step away and do something different. And I love what I do now. I'm stress-free with what I do now. And, the nice thing is I'm making a lot more money than I was back then. So, everything in life is turned 180 over the last probably 8-10 years. And, the quality of life is just improved. So, but I still use all the business principles that I learned over those years. I still use daily, whether it's in my current role, whether it's even dealing with my kids and how to, sell my kids on certain things of the fact, try to, with certain things I need them to do or I want them to do. And so it's, all those principles that I learned and still know, you still use in everyday life, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's relational. So I can't say enough about of still being able to apply those on a daily basis.
Right. Just listening to both of you talk, and obviously I know both of your stories, and I applaud you both for venturing into your own business and doing all this stuff on your own. I mean, I spend once a month about 10 minutes talking to imprint makers from Missouri about, hey, this is what I want on a t-shirt. Can you make it? Give me a price. I'll pay for it. Send them out. And you guys are just like just putting all your time and effort. And I'm over here thinking like, oh, I spent like 10 minutes just trying to do my little business. So, but one of the things that, you had said to start the show, John, was, I always forget how you say things, but like, if you want to make an impression on people, tell them like all the bad things that happened to you instead of always bragging about all the good things. And you were talking about how you were working 75, 80 hours, you got sick and you had to choose a new path. So Beth, what were you doing prior to becoming a massage therapist that, this one day you're like, hey, I just don't want to do this anymore. And now how did you become from where you were to where you are now?
Sure. I actually used to work in insurance sales, like some of the major insurance companies, State Farm, stuff like that. I didn't really like it, to be honest. People are always mad when they come in and it's always your fault. And no matter what you do, it was always like, because it's the law, you have to have it. So wasn't my environment, because kind of like I can kind of gather off John, positive energy, positive vibes. I struggle being around people that are just woe is me or negative Nancy or whatever you call them. And that field was definitely draining for me. So I went into banking, and I worked at a credit union and scooted my way right up from part-time teller to assistant branch manager, and then to branch manager within a short amount of time. And I loved it. I loved the people. I built amazing relationships with people. Lots of awards. So it was a very rewarding job for me. But there was a change in some stuff that had happened there, and I just felt very unappreciated, honestly. And I knew I was doing good in my heart, and so I was like, why am I letting somebody else control my environment, my life? And so I said, I'm just going to work for myself. And I have always had a passion for massage. I've had a table, honestly, before I even went to school. I would like work on family and stuff. So just kind of was like, I really don't like where I'm at. And it was COVID time at the time. So it was like I was sitting home answering phone calls and stuff. And I just decided I'm going to do it. And I'm, as you can probably see from a lot of my posts, I always talk about chasing your dreams and your goals and setting goals and accomplishing those. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to run with it. And in 2 weeks, I applied got approved, and had all my financial stuff together for college. Ended up going for a year, and excelled, did really good there as well. And because I'm passionate about it, like you're talking about your shirts and stuff, I don't think it matters what anybody does. If you're passionate about something, if it takes you 10 minutes, if you make $5 or a penny or $70, when you're passionate about something, it just doesn't matter. Those good vibes, the good feelings, and I love my job completely. I don't have to be like, man, I got to go to work today. I'm like, this is great. I love this client. They're great. Their energy is great. This is going to be a great morning. And it's just, it's awesome. And I always kind of have, like John was talking about, sometimes things change, and depending on how it works as a business owner, we never know our future, and we never know, if the money's going to come in today, if it's not tomorrow. So it's something that you really have to be driven. You have to constantly have plan not only A, but B, C, D, and E ready. For paying your bills and keeping your roof over your head. And it's not an easy task, but if you're passionate about something and you love it, you make it work. People feel that energy, and you don't even really have to put in a lot of work to make things happen. The whole Noah's Ark thing, you love what you do, and the people will come, when you're good at it. So.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I remember when we had first started this podcast, and John was commenting, and he said, "Hey, when you guys figure out everything, and reach out to me, and I'd love to be on your show." And now he has seen from scratch to where we are now. The passion that we put into this. We're gonna have some silly. We're gonna have some funny. I have this thing in the works about who said it, who did it. I can't really indulge anymore. It's going to be one of those shows where everybody's going to be laughing so hard they're going to be crying. But so this show for me, this is what I've always wanted to do. I feel like talking, because I'm a very talkative person. I like helping people. I like listening to people. I like just bringing the positive people together. I think that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you a couple months ago, Beth, just because I saw what you were posting, and I think that you don't post bullshit. You're a lot like John Palmer and Bill Verity and some other people that come on this show. What you post, you're genuine about it. We use that word genuine a lot. And with John, like he will send me motivational stuff through Messenger, through text. And I think that's just really important, because one of the things we decided that Craig and I, when we were going to do this show, we weren't going to do bullshit. We weren't going to have fake people come on for likes and comments and all that. Everything was going to be real. And I think that you two are just positive, genuine people, just like everybody else on this show. And I still have some more notes here, but one of the things that I took away from what you were saying, Beth, and I think I took away from John was the appreciation factor. John was working 75, 80 hours a week. You felt like, you weren't appreciated enough. And, I think appreciation goes a long way in anything that you do. And if you don't feel appreciated, you just, you got two choices. You stay feeling unappreciated, or you go and make yourself appreciated somewhere else. What's your guys' take on that? I mean, I didn't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I just kind of wrote down when you were talking about the whole appreciation factor.
Yeah, I mean, appreciation is key.
Connected?
That's one thing that, I think a lot of people strive for unintentionally when they work or out of, relationships. It's funny when you use the term appreciation, Jeff, the first thing I thought of was my wife and I, because I think we tell each other that we appreciate each other more than we love each other. I appreciate you for what you do to provide for the family, or to do this or to do that. And that appreciation, and I think the recognition of what people do and appreciating it goes farther than what you can potentially pay somebody to do. A lot of people today, I don't feel, are motivated by money as much as motivated by appreciation and possibly recognition. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people that are very money motivated. I'm one of them. But I've realized over time and through maturity that if you chase money, that's not going to make you happy. But if you chase a purpose in life, the money will flow and your happiness will flow. And it's just secondary nature. So, but that appreciation is key, because how many people, when you read about different articles about, people quitting jobs or leaving positions and going somewhere else, they don't leave necessarily because they weren't getting paid well. Most people leave because they felt like they weren't treated well, or their manager was bad. So there's a lot of people that I feel, and this is just my opinion, that a lot of people leave certain positions and certain jobs because of a manager and not necessarily other things. And not to say all managers are bad, but I think a lot of people feel, they don't feel that recognition and that appreciation from their management, their supervisors, whoever, from what they're potentially trying to get from what they're doing.
Yeah, I think totally. If you don't feel valued and appreciated at work, I mean, over time that starts cutting into your morale, like your thought process of how good you're doing, because you think you're doing really good, or you're putting in extra work, or you're getting whatever you got to get done, and then to not be reminded that you did a good job, or hey, thanks for staying late, or thanks for doing extra, really puts a toll up here. And then you go to the gym and then you work that out. But it starts eating at you, and then you start like, well, I'm not going to put in that much effort. So then you really don't like your job now, and so things kind of, when you don't feel valued or appreciated, things just kind of keep going down. So I think it's really important. And working for myself, I have team meetings all the time. It's a blast. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I appreciate myself, like I have nobody to appreciate me. So, you got to learn to kind of do that self-love to yourself, and be gracious with yourself, and grateful for the capabilities that you as a human are capable of doing. So, not having that in a work environment for me doesn't bother me now, because I know my value and I remind myself of my value, because that's self-love. And And we need to do that more. Like we really do. We need to love and care for ourselves more. So appreciation
Oh,
is key.
100%. And I'd also like to add, like, absolutely, appreciation is key. And I like to add that, we've all had, the pissed off days at work.
Mhm.
I've pushed more weight on a pissed off day than I don't know. Like I was just so pissed off, and then like I quickly run out of steam. But that's because I'm old. But no. So I circled the word appreciation because like I remember. So to me, anybody who comes on this show or helps us, I am so appreciative of it because I finally, after 49 years, I found what I really want to do in life. I really I was telling the wife, I'd really like to do a podcast somehow, but I don't really know how. And then, Craig came and helped, blah, 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 blah. And he's still an integral part of this. And he will be back. So when I'm just going to use John as an example, my way of saying, hey, I appreciate everyone is I had t-shirts made up, right? And I remember I had mailed a couple, three to John, one for him, his wife and his daughter. And I always say it's just my way of appreciating you for coming on the show, helping, and now that John is on the show almost every week, because I pay him a lot of money to come on the show. Just kidding, I don't pay anybody, but John will tell you. Oh wait, yeah, Beth, I forgot to tell you. I'm not gonna be able to pay you this week. I gave all the money to John. Sorry, but no. So when John got the shirts, he's like, he was like, man, I really. His first words or something like, I still have the text. I really appreciate this. And I'm like, no, I appreciate you. This is just my way of saying, hey, thank you. And a buddy of mine went to somewhere down in Pennsylvania, I don't remember, and he wore one of the first shirts ever made. And he texted me, he's like, dude, I just got asked by two people what this is about. So, I mean, people who wear our shirts and do whatever. I mean, this is my way of showing appreciation because, like we were just saying, appreciation really means a lot more than just hey, hey, thanks, But when you say, hey, I appreciate you for doing something, not only are you showing them the gratitude, but you're explaining why. If I just said, hey, John, I appreciate you, he might be like, okay, because he knows what my routine is like. I'll always say, hey, listen, I thank you for doing this. I appreciate you, and da 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 da. And like I said, the new shirt that's coming in, you will be the first one to get one with John saying on it. And how's the saying go, John? Are we that
Yeah,
3 a.m. friend and not the 6 p.m. friend? I forget how I had it wrote.
exactly. So it's, it all goes back to, I think something that Beth might have touched on, or you might have touched on a little bit earlier in the episode, Jeff. It's just you know, having people around you that are like-minded and that are positive and that will lift you up and are going to be uplifting. So, yeah, I think we talked about this on one other episode is I feel the older I got, the circle of friends that were really valuable to me got smaller. So I think they say if you have three or four of
Yep.
those 3 a.m. friends, you're pretty much set in life, So, when you look at your relationships and friendships for your close friends or people in your life, you've got to kind of look at it and almost analyze the friendship and say, well, what am I getting out of this friendship? Is this person someone that's going to be a 6 p.m. friend, or is this person going to be someone that's a 3 a.m. friend where if I pick up the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, number one, are they going to answer? And number two, I think the saying actually goes, I can hear them in the background putting their pants on, they're clipping their gun in their holster and they're bringing a shovel and they're like, all right, where are we burying the body? Because those are the people that are going to go to bat with you no matter what. But they're going to be there, I've always told buddies of mine, hey, if you're going to go out and you're going to, have fun tonight, don't be afraid to call me if you need a ride home, if you can't get an Uber, whatever. So just those, being that 3 a.m. friend versus that 6 p.m. friend where, yeah, they'll answer your call at 6 p.m., but after that, they're too busy to be able to do anything for you. So that's kind of where that phrase came from, Beth. And it's pretty cool, Jeff. I didn't know you made a shirt out of that until just tonight. So, that's pretty awesome that she's going to be able to be the first one to rep that for you.
I'm excited.
Maybe you didn't see it in the group message. I apologize. I apologize, John. I thought I had put it in our group message because I didn't know if anybody wanted a shirt. And but no, but you're right. I know for me as I got older, and we talked about this on a couple other shows. I wasn't always the most popular person, so I thought like I had to have like masses of people, and I know a lot of people, but my circle is really small. And I'll just share the story with Beth real quick. Where our mindset in life is. I grew up with a friend of mine, ex-friend now. We did everything together, right? Grew up, blah 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 blah. A couple years ago, he reached out. He was like, "Hey, could I borrow some money? I have a chance to get my house back." He was like, "I just need to borrow $850." Now, Jen and I were not made of money, but we had a little extra money, and I remember I called my wife and I said, "Hey, listen, my buddy, blah 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 blah. He's good for it. He's already paid me back in the past. So, his thing was, I'll pay you when I get my taxes." I said, "Okay, no problem," and so dropped off $850. I mean, it's a good chunk of change. I don't care who you are. $850 is not $20.
Yep. Yep.
Well, it's going on 3 years now, and he's dodged every time. And so on one of our shows, I just said, I think I said something along the lines like, "Why argue? Why get bent out of shape? He's already shown me after 40 some years of friendship his true colors and what I lost. The money, it's not the money. I'll always make money. It's the principle behind it. Like, all you had to do was just text me or call me and say, "Hey, tax season is here, but I had a car problem or I had this." I'd be like, "Hey, I get it. I respect you. I appreciate it." But he just dodged every text, everything. And when I saw him in person last summer, he literally just dodged eye contact. He just was like, and I told the wife, I'm like, if it wasn't for my other good friends there, I probably would have hit him. But then I thought about it as I've got, a year from now, and I'm like, punching somebody really doesn't solve anything. It's just, as you get older, you just learn who your true people are. And I know, Beth, you have something to say. So when I was asking Beth to come on the show and she was nervous, I don't mean to put you on the spot like that. The first two people I thought of was John and William, because I knew their mindset, and I knew that it would help you. So that's where the whole mindset thing comes in the circle of friends that I had to say lately, the circle of friends that I no longer have, because I'm not a narcissist when I say this. They're no benefit to me, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you coming. I'm sorry, Billy couldn't come, but yeah, John, thank you for coming and being some extra support for me. I just have never honestly done this. I'm a hermit lifestyle here, so yeah, so I'm always the kid that has been shy, hiding behind my parents' leg, all red-faced. So it's taken me years to kind of come out of my shell. So I'm a little quiet, but I appreciate you guys both, Jeff for welcoming me, and then John for being here for some support and not making me feel like, a schmuck or anything. So I feel it's nice. You guys made me feel very welcome. And I didn't have to stress my legs out sitting down here because they're hurting.
We aim to please, but no, I mean, that's
no, but now you have to be a regular.
Still, sorry to cut you off, Jeff. But I just wanted to say to Beth that,
you're fine.
This is what the podcast is about that Jeff started. It's to uplift other people and to help other people. And as he said, I don't think we can thank him enough for what he's doing, because, the more people that we can impact, we can hopefully have that ripple effect to be able to change, thousands and thousands of lives as time goes on. I think in the world that we live in today, we need love, we need support, we need encouragement, and we need to be able to be there for each other. So this is just one small step in that, in doing that.
Absolutely. And I was just saying, so now that this is the first time you're on the show, Beth, I thank you. I'm going to edit this eventually and I'm going to get it uploaded. but now you have to be a returning guest on our show and join in on some of the funny shenanigans that we do, but only when you're ready.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel a little more comfortable. I know what to expect. Yeah, I appreciate you. Your wife, I think, mentioned she needs a gift certificate for a massage. She may have been in the background. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure she commented pretty straightforwardly.
Yeah. No, it was funny because I had just asked her the other day. I said, "Hey, was that a shot towards me, or do you really need a massage?" She's like, "No, I really need a massage." I'm like, "All right." I said, "Don't worry, I know somebody." So hey, I need a gift certificate.
I'll mail it in the bag that I'm going to send you because they just came in.
So this is just. Oh yeah, wait. Can you mention it to John, or do you want to wait till? I didn't know if you wanted to let everybody know what you had.
Oh, I didn't bring it in here, but I just got these cute little. They're kind of like the grocery totes, but they're not as big. I was a little sadly disappointed. They're kind of more like I can carry a couple water bottles, 3 water bottles in them, but they're little grocery kind of totes. And I just did my logo and a little saying that just said, after carrying all this stuff, I need to call my massage therapist. And it's got my website. And so I'm going to send them when I get your address of where to send it to. I'm going to send you guys one of those and some business cards because I really appreciate you guys spreading the love and kind of helping, like your post, Jeff, supporting other small businesses and stuff. So that's awesome. And I really appreciate that. So I'm going to send you guys some of those bags when I get your contact info. So.
Very cool.
No, that's awesome. And if you send the business cards, a place where Jen and I would go to breakfast, there's like a tack board. I will put your business card up, and if you have a flyer, I'll put that up as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually have some clients. I think
Absolutely.
You're in the Penn area. I have some clients that way that drive here, so that's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I will promote for you, just like I do for everybody, because I was thinking about this the other day, and you're the one who had posted the "What's it take to help a small business?" And I'm like, there's so many people that I know. Let me give them a shout out, and I think, like John said, we're just trying to lift people up, just try to change lives, just try to change, how people, how things are viewed, and I'm just going to share one more story. So the other guy that was involved with this, he's a very good friend of mine, but he had different creating ideas, and so he went off on his own, and he's doing very well. And I recommend going to watch his podcast if you watch wrestling and football. And I will say it again here on this show. I have $50 against his knowledge. Nobody can touch him in football and wrestling. Okay, his name is Will White. It's called Pins and Wins podcast on YouTube, Facebook. Check it out. I have $50. Nobody can touch him. But again, just trying to lift people up and trying to help everybody. I mean, I think that's what life should be about. Not be like, oh, I don't really know Beth Brown that well, so I'm not going to really give her a shout out. But no, I think it's important. I mean, we're sitting here trying to get people to like us, subscribe us, and promote for us. Why not do the same for everybody else?
Yep.
Exactly. And Beth, are you just located down in Ovid then?
Yeah, right at the top of Willard. Yeah, I just finished in Geneva. I was self-employed, kind of working 2 different places, actually 3 at one point. I was working Trumansburg too. So yeah, I'm just solely in Willard. It's an Ovid address, but I'm in Willard. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. When I edit this, I will try to add in your website. I'll see if I can just copy it, and that way whoever watches it can write it down and click on it. So this is just a part of the show where I'm just going to leave for ending comments, and then we'll end the show tonight. You can end it any way you want, John. Just keep your clothes on.
I was going to say that. No. Well, again, as always, Jeff, I appreciate for what you do, and Beth, I appreciate you for coming on, because it takes a lot of courage for someone that may be, a little shy or not sure of what to do or what to expect to come on a podcast, and being able to do this. But, again, just sharing your story and being able to, you get that story out there to hopefully impact more people, will not only help them, but, I think it helps you. One of the things I think I had mentioned either in the podcast we did before, Jeff, or a couple weeks ago, is, we heal ourselves by helping others. So I think that's a huge thing, to be able to, um, a lot of times when you're not feeling great and you feel not the best about yourself, or things are down, when you start doing things for other people, you take that mindset off of yourself, and you actually start to feel better and heal yourself by helping others, and being able to share that story. So I think that's big.
Totally agree with you,
Absolutely.
John.
I agree 100% with that. Beth, do you have anything you want to just add before I try to do this sign off that I can never duplicate?
I mean, honestly, my biggest thing to people would be just to like, don't instantly give up on things. Anything you do in life is going to be challenging at times. And I know some people have a pride thing to ask for help, but if you want to go places in life, if you want to be happy, if you want to be like less stress, I mean, you really got to motivate yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to take care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I'm sure, you guys can probably agree with me. We all have crap days. I mean, I've had days where I just bawl my eyes out, because we're real, we're people. I mean, those are feelings. We need to get them out. We need to express whatever. So I love the positive vibes you guys share. And I would just totally tell people, like, love yourself and keep that mindset positive as much as possible, because the universe hears you. It does.
Just before I do the closing, Beth, anytime, and John, are you friends with John on social media? If you are, I think I can speak for him. If you ever have a bad day, just reach out to anybody, any one of us.
Yep.
Like, I mean, depending on, what's going on, I mean, that person may not be able to work right or answer right at that minute. Somebody will always get back to you. Trust me. Believe me when I say that.
Amen. Well, that's what the gym's for. No, I'm just kidding. But really, no, I mean, honestly, that's what I've learned. That's my coping mechanism. That is my stress relief. That's why, like I said, I don't miss more than 2 days, because I'm like, ah.
Yeah, and I'm going on a week, and you guys keep throwing it in my face about how great the gym is, and it's like, yeah, I got until June 10th before that's great.
Hit those push-ups,
I'm messing
and
with
you
you,
can push up and sit up at home. Push-ups and sit-ups and pretend air squats with your knees.
No, yeah.
It'd be the perfect time for
I
you
don't know what they are, and I don't want to know. But anyways, I do them. No, but I do. I do abs and push-ups in the morning. It just, it's not the same without, doing other stuff. But listen, but Beth, I thank you for coming on the show. I will let you know about future coming shows if you ever want to join in. I'm sure that everybody who's part of it. And we never put anybody on the spot. We never embarrass anybody. We let the stories do that. But I thank you very much. I know, like John said, it took a lot of courage to come on. It's going to be broadcast to whoever wants to view it. You're going to be tagged in it, so everybody that you're friends with will see it. So I appreciate you for coming on the show. John, as always, Becky Cherwalk is right. You have the voice that is just so soothing, so smooth. I don't like, his voice never goes above one octave. He's just mellow, just normal. He's so calm and cool and collected, I appreciate that. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's I've learned,
And
gotten older.
as
It's nothing. There's nothing that is gonna affect me one way or another that much. That it's totally gonna, get to a point where I lose control. So
awesome. He just has that amazing soothing voice. So as my partner Craig Kelso would say, thank you for coming on the show. And if you find yourself stumbling in life, you have stumbled along the right lines of the podcast. See, I could never do it. I'm going to have him just record it. I'm going to have to add it to the show. But anyways, thank you guys for coming on the show. Love you both. Appreciate you. You both have a great night.
all right, you too, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Yo, you want to see something cool? No? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Step into the scene. No, nobody can do it like me. Zoom house plate with the kick cuisine. I was the blacktop king. 360s in my green machine. I was a kid and I was breaking down doors. Listening to Tribe, now we on a world tour. We gave them hell and now we gonna give them more. JVB, mighty morphin' like Megazord. Yo, power like Ranger, range like Rover, strong bulldozer. Autobots roll out, hit the scene. Fresh wax on the paint, it's clean. Hold the gang, light up the tires. The JK'z popping and spitting out fire. Never retire, stare and admire. My drip don't expire.
Oh my god, that is fire!